Welcome, dear children, to my channel. This is a channel dedicated to you. Several times a week, I try to publish good night stories. Hopefully, you have a good feet and have already thrown and wait for the story of impatience. Tonight, I'm gonna tell you a story about Cinderella, Jakob and William Grimm. Rich man's wife becomes sick, and when she felt that her end was drawing near, she called her only daughter to her beside and said, "Dear child, remain pure and good, and then our dear God will always protect you. And I look down on you from heaven and be near you." With this, she closed her eyes and died. The girl went out to her mother's grave every day and wept, and she remained pure and good. When winter comes, the snow spread a white cloth over the grave, and when the spring sun had removed it again, the man took himself another wife. This wife brought two daughters into the house with her. They were beautiful, with fair face, but evil and dark hearts. Times soon grew very bad for the poor stepchild. "Why should that stupid ghost sit in the parlour with us?" they say. "If she went to eat bread, then she will have to earn it. Out with the kitchen maid." They took her beautiful clothes away from her, dressed in an old grey smock, and gave her wooden shoes. Just look at the proud princess, how decked out she is, they should, and laughed as they led her into the kitchen. There she had to do hard work from morning until evening, get up before daybreak, carry water, make the fires, cook and wash. Beside this, the sister did everything imaginable to hurt her. They made fun of her, scratched peas and lentils into ashes for her, so that she has to sit and pick them out again in the evening when she had work herself weary. There was no bed for her. Instead, she had to sleep by the hearthing in the ash, and because she always looked dusty and dirty, they called her Cinderella. One day it happened that the father was going to the fair, and he asked his two stepdaughters what he should bring back for them. "Beautiful dresses," said the one. "Pearls and jewels," said the other. "And you, Cinderella," he said, "what do you want?" "Father, break off for me the first twig that brush against your hat on your way home." So he brought beautiful dresses, pearls, and jewels for his two stepdaughters. On his way home, as he was reading through a green twig, a hazel twig brushes against him and knocked off this hat. Then he broke off the twig and took it with him. Hurrying home, he gave his stepdaughter the things that they had asked for, and she gave Cinderella the twig from the hazel bush. Cinderella thanks him, went to his mother's grave, and planted a branch on it. And she wept so much that her tears fell upon it and watered it. It grew and became a beautiful tree. Cinderella went to the tree 3 times every day, and beneath it she went, wept, and played. A white bird came to the tree every time, and whenever she expressed a wish the bird would throw down to her that she had wished for. Now it happened that the king proclaimed a festival that was to last 3 days. All the beautiful young girls in the land were invited, so that his son could select a bride for himself. When the two step-sisters heard that they too had been invited, they were in high spirits. They called Cinderella, saying, "Comb our hair for us, brush our shoes, and fasten our bucket. We are going to festival at the king's castle." Cinderella obeyed. Cinderella obeyed, but wept because she too would have liked to go to the dance with them. She begged her stepmother to allow her to go. "You, Cinderella," she said, "you all covered with dust and dirt, and you want to go to the festival. You have neither clothes nor shoes, and yet you want to dance." However, because Cinderella kept asking, the stepmother finally said, "I have scattered a bowl of lentils into the ashes for you. If you can pick them out again in 2 hours, then you may go with us." The girl went through the back door into the garden and called out, "You tame pigeons and turtle-doves, and all you birds beneath the sky, come and help me to gather. The good ones go into the pot, the bad ones go into your crop." Two white pigeons come in through the kitchen window, and then the third love, and finally all the birds beneath the sky come whirring and swarming in, and lit around the ashes. The pigeons nod their heads and begin to pick, 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 and the other also begin to pick, pick, pick. They gather all the good grains into the bowl. Hardly 1 hour had passed before they were finished, and they all flew out again. The girl took the bowl to the stepmother and was happy, thinking that now she would be allowed to go to the festival with them. But the stepmother said, "No, Cinderella, you have no clothes, and you don't know how to dance. Everyone would only laugh at you." Cinderella began to cry, and then the stepmother said, "You may go if you are able to pick 2 bowls of lentils of the ashes for me in 1 hour." Thinking to herself, "She will never be able to do that," the girl went through the back door into the garden and called out, You tame pigeons, you turtle doves, and all you birds beneath the sky, come and help me to guard. The good ones go into the pot, and bad ones go into your crop. Two twin, two white pigeons come in through the kitchen windows, and then the doves, and finally all the birds beneath the sky come whining and swarming in, and lit around the ashes. The pigeons nose their heads and begin to peek, 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 and the others also begin to peek, peek, peek. They gathers all the good grains into the bowl. Before a half hour had passed, they were finished, and they all flew again out again. The girl took the bowl to the stepmother and was happy, thinking that now she would be allowed to go to festival with them. But the stepmother said, "It's no use, you are not coming with us, for you have no clothes and you don't know how to dance. We would be ashamed of you." With this, she turned her back on Cinderella and hurried away with her two proud daughters. Now that no one else was at home, Cinderella was to her mother's grave beneath the hazel tree and cried out, "Shake and quiet little tree, throw gold and silver down to me." Then the bird threw a gold and silver dress down to her, and slippers embers with silk and silver. She quickly put on the dress and went to the festival. Her stepmother and her stepsister and her stepmother did not recognize her. They thought she must be a foreign princess, for they looked so beautiful in the golden dress. They never once thought it was Cinderella, for they thought that was sitting at home in the dirty looking for lentils in the ashes. The princess approached her, took her by the hand, and danced with her. For Mort, he wouldn't dance with no one else. He never let go of her hand, and whenever anyone else come and ask her to dance, he will say, "She is my dance partner." She danced until evening, and then she went to go home. But the prince said, "I will go alone and escort you," for he wanted to see home the beautiful her belong. However, she eluded him and jumped into the pigeon coop. The princess waited until the feather come, and then he told him that the unknown girl had jumped into the pigeon coop. The omen true. Could it be Cinderella? He had them bring him an axe and a pick, so that he can break the pigeon coop apart, but no one was inside. When they got home, Cinderella was lying in the ashes, dresses in her dirty clothes. A dim little oil lamp was burning in the fireplace. Cinderella has quickly jumped down from the back of the pigeon coop and had run to the hazel tree. There she has taken off her beautiful clothes and lies them on the grave, and the bird had taken them away again. Then dressed in her grey smock, she has returned to the ashes in the kitchen. The next day, when the festival began anew, and her partners and her stepsisters had gone again, Cinderella went to the hazel tree and said, "Shake and quietly, little tree, throw gold and silver down to me." Then the bird came down an even more magnificent dress than on the preceding day. When Cinderella appeared at the festival in this dress, everyone was astonished at her beauty. The prince had waited until she came, then immediately took her by the hand and dancing only with her. When others came and asked her to dance with them, he said, "She is my dancing partner." When evening came, she wanted to leave, and the prince followed her, waiting to see into which house she went. But she ran away from him and into the garden behind the house. A beautiful tall tree stood there, on which hung the most magnificent pears. She climbed as nimbly as a squirrel into the branches, and the prince did not know where she had gone. He waited until her father came, there saying him, "The unknown girl has eluded me, and I believe she was climbing up to the pear tree." The father thought, "Could it be Cinderella?" He had an axe brought to him and cut down the tree, but no one was in it. When they come to kitchen, Cinderella was lying there in the ashes as usual, for she had jumped down from the other side of the tree. He had taken the beautiful dress to the bird in the hazel tree and had put on her grace neck. One of the third day, when his parents and sisters had gone away, Cinderella went again to mother's grave and said to the tree, "Shake and quiet, little tree, throw gold and silver down to me." This time the bird threw down to her a dress that was more splendid and magnificent than any she had yet had, and the slippers were of pure gold. When she arrived at the festival in this dress, everyone was so astonished that they did not know what to say. The prince danced only with her, and whenever anyone else asked her to dance, he would say, "She is my dancing partner." When evening came, Cinderella wanted to leave, and the prince tried to escort her, but she ran away from him so quickly that he could not follow her. The prince, however, had set a trap. He had the entire stairs smeared with pig. When she ran down the stairs, her left slippers stuck in the pitch. The prince picked it up. It was small and tiny and of pure gold. The next morning he went with it to man and said to him, "No one shall be my wife except for the one whose foot fits these golden shoes." The two sisters were happy to hear this, for they had pretty feet. With her mother standing by the altar, one took the shoes in her bedroom to try it on. She could not get her big toe into it, for the prince was right and passed to the grave, and there on the hazel tree sat two pigeons crying out, "Rock thee go, rock thee go, there's blood in the shoes. The shoes is too tight. The bride is not right." Then he looked at the food and saw how the blood was running from it. He turned his horse around and took the false bride home again, saying that she was not the right one, and that the other sister should try on the shoe. She went into her bedroom and got her too into the shoes all right, but her felt was too large. The shoe is too tight, the bride is not right, said the pigeon. He looked down at the foot and saw how blood was running out of her shoes. "This is not the right one, either," he said. "Don't you have another daughter?" "No," said the man. "There is only a deformed little Cinderella from my first wife, but she cannot possibly be the bride." The prince told him to send her to him, but the mother answered, "Oh no, she is much too dirty. She cannot be seen." But the prince insisted on it, and they had to call Cinderella. She first washed her hands and face clean, and then went to bow down before the prince, who gave her the golden shoe. She sat down on a stool, pulled her foot out of the heavy wooden shoe, and put it into the slipper, and it fitted her perfectly. When she stood up, the prince looked in the face, and he recognized the beautiful girl who had danced with him. He cried out, "She is my true bride!" The stepmother and two stepsisters were horrified and turned pale with anger. Cinderella onto his horse and ride away with her as they paused by the hazel tree. "The shoe's not too tight, this bride is right," said the pigeon. After they had cried this out, they both flew down and lit on Cinderella's shoes. Cinderella and the prince have a wedding on the church, and she lived happily ever after. This is an incredible story of Cinderella, one of my favorite. Thank you for listening story for good night. If you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe on my channel. Be sure to press the bell to get alerts when my videos are coming out. If you have any special desire to read your favorite story, write me under the video in comments or to my mail address or on Instagram. See the description of the video address. The next video, sleep well and listen spooks of my stories. Good night.